Welcome, everybody, to Crystal, Kyle, and friends. I am excited for today's show because we have Richard Ojeda on today. I have a little bit of a man crush.
It's fair.
I'm not going to lie. I got a little bit of a man crush. That accent, how aggressive he is. Like,
yeah.
This guy's the man. So for those of you who don't know, he ran in 2018 for Congress in West Virginia as a Democrat. Massively overperformed. I'm talking about like took 35% from the Trump people. Still just came up short because it was West Virginia, right? Now he's running for office again, this time in North Carolina as a Democrat. And yeah, I mean, given this environment and everything, I think he can get it done. And with this guy in Congress, oh, you are not going to have to worry anymore. Where's our fighter? Oh, no, we found him.
Oh, yeah.
We found him. He's right here, believe me.
Oh, yeah. He's just got a way of putting things.
He absolutely does.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because we also have him in studio, which is fun. So really looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
But before we get to Richard, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So first of all, there's a lot of speculation going on now, Crystal. Did Trump get a bad diagnosis? Was Trump told, like, hey, dog, tick-tock, homie, like, time's running out for you? Because as you know, he's got those fat-ass ankles, which is a sign of poor blood circulation. And it's, what's it called? Chronic venous insufficiency. And he's like stage 4 or something like that.
Cankles McTaco tits.
Cankles McTaco tits. That's right. Shout out to the I've had it ladies. We love the I've had it ladies.
I think that's the technical medical definition.
That's right. But he's going to die, for real. So, but it looks like he's going to die.
Well,
chronic venous insufficiency.
It's just a matter of the time frame, I guess.
So he has chronic venous insufficiency, which I think it's stage 4 that he's at the very least. And that could be a sign of congestive heart failure. That's one of the things it can be. He's also 79 years old and obese. No matter what he says, he's fat. And there's not many old fat people walking around, right? So it sounds like he was told, like, this is not looking good, bro. And so he's been going around saying very, very curious things. So he was on Fox News the other day, and he was saying he wants to get into heaven, and he's not sure he's going to get into heaven, and that's why he's trying so hard for peace between Russia and Ukraine. And that was a bizarre moment because he kind of, like, he kept repeating it in different ways. So this is clearly something that's on his mind. And this guy, like, this man has never once in his life worried about, like, am I going to get into heaven? Is that going to happen? No, he's like a total fucking, hedonist freak who's just looking for, has large appetites of many kinds. Like, this is not a guy who's contemplative like that. So there was speculation about that. And then I also have this clip for you. So he went on, I guess this is a radio show here, and listen to what he says about him trying to get peace between some other places. Watch.
And it's, a lot of amazing things. You saw the Azerbaijan. That was a big one going on for 34, 35 years with Albania. Think of that. I mean, going on for years. And I got to know the heads, and I got to know them through trade. I was dealing with them a little bit. I said, why are you guys fighting? And then I said, I'm not going to do a trade deal if you guys are going to fight. It's crazy. Anyway, one thing led to another, and I got that one settled. And that was a one that people said is not, you couldn't settle it. Even when I had them both in the Oval Office at the end when they were getting ready to sign, they were sitting next to each other. And they were trying to get away. They didn't feel good. By the end of an hour, they were hugging each other and congratulating each other. It was beautiful to watch, actually.
So he says he got peace between Azerbaijan and Albania, but in reality, it's Azerbaijan and Armenia. Like, he doesn't care about the specifics. He just wants to get out there. I got peace. I can get into heaven now, right? Add it to the good tally, right? Did I do it? Like, that's what he's trying to do here. I don't know, man. I think there might be something to this, that he's got some health struggles.
I mean, he definitely has some health struggles. I am not convinced. I just feel like we're going to be cursed with this man forever. That's what I really feel like. I just feel like he's going to, it seems like the villainous people are the ones just that live for fucking ever. And I did look up, because in America, life expectancy depends very much on what your wealth and income are. And so if you are a wealthy American man, your average life expectancy, you can expect to live to around the high 80s or even 90s for those in the highest income or wealth percentiles, significantly longer than their less affluent counterparts. Yeah, to that, he's president of the United States now. On the one hand, maybe that makes it more stressful for him, but I don't see that he really feels the burden and the weight of the decisions that he's making. So he's going to get the best healthcare in the world. I did ask, someone who's a medical professional about his particular diagnosis, and it does not seem to be terribly serious. So I think, that he is older. So it's very common once you get older, you start contemplating your legacy and your mortality. So to talk about heaven in that context is very weird. But anyway, that sort of lines up. And then the other thing is people who are around him a lot do seem to feel like there was some actual religious shift that happened after the assassination attempt that could also be leading to more contemplation of his mortality. I don't know. But no, I feel like we're going to be cursed with him forever. So he's going to outlive us, Kyle.
That's probably true. So I asked Grok, what are the chances somebody who's 250 pounds and 79 years old, what are the chances they die within the next 5 years? And Grok says 42%.
Within the next 5 years?
Yes, I asked for within the next 5 years, 72%. I'm sorry, 42%. For a 79-year-old who weighs 250 pounds. By the way, that's the low end of what he actually weighs. I think he's
tall
way higher than
too.
that.
No tall people have shorter lifespans.
That's true. Let me ask that too.
What is he, 6'3" is what he claims? Something like that? IG is fairly tall.
He is pretty tall. I think he's a little taller than me. I met him once. I don't know if I ever told people. Did I tell you this story? That I met him? Well, I didn't really meet him. But I was around him.
Yeah.
I was at a golf club. My friend, one of my best friends growing up, his dad was a member of a very exclusive golf club. Mm-hmm. And we were eating in the little bar restaurant area.
Yeah.
And Trump walked right by outside. And, I looked out and I saw him with his goofy ass hair.
This was pre-presidential run.
Way pre-presidential.
Yeah.
I'm talking, so I must have been 12 years old. So let's do the math on that. That's the year 2000.
So people probably know that I interviewed him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
I don't know if people know that. Tell the story.
Okay, so I was with MSNBC then, and he was not officially running yet, or if he was, it was the early stages when everybody just thought this was a fucking joke, right? An absolute fucking joke. I think at that point he was just flirting with it. And so I was doing red carpet coverage of the White House Correspondents'
For
Dinner.
MSNBC.
For MSNBC.
Right?
And so he comes in with Melania, whose name I didn't even know at that point. And I asked him, I was I asked him something about are you really running for president? And in my head, I was like, I can't believe you're even paying credence to this. You're embarrassing that you even asked that question. But then I asked him, hey, did you ever find Obama's birth certificate?
Ooh,
because
snap, son.
You remember he hired private investigators to go to Hawaii, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, he turned from being very full-on charm, oh, I love you on the cycle, and Ari and Abby and Torre, you guys are so great, blah, 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 to when I asked him that question, he goes, that's the wrong question to ask, Crystal. That's the wrong question. And then that was basically the end of it.
He's still like that. One thing that triggers him and he'll fucking flip on you just
he didn't like that.
So I also met him one other way too. So when my mom and dad split up, my dad had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend was the head of a pro shop at one of his courses in Westchester in New York. And so I had been...
That's such a perfect person for a divorced dad to date.
I know, right? It really is. She may have even regionally ran all of his pro shops or something like that. But anyway, my dad was dating this woman.
Yeah.
And because of that connection, there are times where we got to play Trump's course, which was a super exclusive course that cost $1 quadrillion to get in. We were able to play it just because my dad knew... My dad was dating the woman who runs the pro shop. Mm-hmm. And there were a couple times where I was there and Trump was there also. And I saw him in the pro shop and stuff.
So when you met him or saw him, did he give off dying at 80 vibes?
He's fat. He was fat back then too. He honestly, low key, he was giving off dying at 71 vibes.
I do feel like he's lost a little weight though too.
I don't see it. He's thick, bro.
I mean, Ozempic is a thing.
He's not on Ozempic. If he was on Ozempic, his nussy, his neck pussy would be roast beef pussy.
Well, that's the thing. If he actually lost a lot of weight, he would look horrible.
Terrible. Oh my God. He needs to stay this weight.
Yeah, but I do think he's lost a little bit of weight. I don't think he's as big as he was previously.
I don't know about that. But I've had people in my family that are his size. Those motherfuckers were dead at 68. You know what I'm saying? It's a miracle that this man is still kicking. Never mind the fact that I'm convinced. I don't know about
Miracle is one way to describe it.
Curse. I'm also convinced he's been doing uppers for years too, though.
People say that, yeah.
Because nobody has that kind of energy unless you are on a shitload of uppers on a daily basis. Like it's part of his daily regimen.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, and he doesn't sleep, which can't be good for you over the long term.
Horrible.
Eat horrible diet. But yeah, we know that the like White House physician or whatever was giving out pharmaceuticals like candy in the first Trump administration.
People don't remember that story, Crystal. That story was wild because not only they were giving out any sort of drug that people use recreationally, they were giving it out. You name it. Fentanyl, ketamine, Percocet, Vicodin, Xanax, Adderall, anything you can name that people use recreationally or that, you know, you got some like punk teenager selling it, they were doling it out like Skittles. And so that's a real story. There was something going on there where it was like a legit like Narcos type shit where there was like a White House cartel where they're getting pills from there and they're pushing them on the street. I'm not even kidding.
Or just using them for their own consumption.
If they use, there were enough drugs in, if from that story, there were enough drugs.
Circle. It's a big administration. You got a lot of people.
Yeah, you
got to provide
like
for.
Great Gatsby like parties where people are like fucking, you know, doing all sorts of drugs. I could see that for sure. I can see that for sure.
People throw around the term degenerate all the time. It's always projection.
They're massive degenerates. So anyway, you're skeptical. I'm less skeptical. I think something's going on because he keeps doing this thing. Like the extent to which he wants a Nobel Peace Prize is crazy. Like he is obsessed with getting a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
But like, dude, if you want a Nobel Peace Prize, you can't randomly bomb Iran.
Well,
they didn't attack us.
I mean,
they're not building a nuke.
If you're as an American president, there are many things you could do that could earn you the Nobel Peace Prize. You could end the fucking genocide in Gaza.
Right.
How about that? Did that ever cross your mind? Not bomb Iran.
Not bomb Iran. Not bomb Somalia. Not bomb Yemen. Not now. Did you see this?
Force a fucking like actual resolution so that Palestinians have a state. You would get a Nobel Peace Prize for that.
That's true. That is true. But did you see that now they're sending 4,000 Marines?
Yeah, to Venezuela.
3 warships to Venezuela. Yeah. And Venezuela, in reaction, is trying to mobilize millions of people because they think an attack is imminent.
Ken Klippenstein published that they're drawing up attack plans on Mexico.
Mexico, yeah. I covered that too. Yeah. And you want a fucking Nobel Peace Prize? Are you kidding me? You're terrorizing the world. You invaded America.
Yeah.
You invaded L.A. You invaded D.C. And you want a Nobel Peace Prize? It's amazing, this guy. He's the ultimate, like, have his cake and eat it too type guy. I don't know how we got on this side rant, but the bottom line is I think his time might be numbered. You are more skeptical of that. I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
All right.
It would solve a lot of things. Speaking of evil motherfuckers who are probably going to live forever, Benjamin Netanyahu, fresh off his Nelk Boys appearance, has now joined the gentleman of Trigonometry. I know you love the name of that podcast.
Before you continue.
Are you trigonometried by it?
Yes. There's something about, there's like a whole douchebag lane in podcasts that came about. It's true. That came about, like along with the Rogan era.
Yeah.
Where there's all these people who see what works, right? Like, oh, I can attack wokeness. I can beat up on the purple-haired college kid. That's all I have to do. And I can become famous doing that. And all I have to do is say, let's have conversations about having conversations about having conversations. Oh, that's all you have to do and you get really famous? Okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get a podcast like this where these douchebags, trigonometry is what they named it. Like, are you kidding me? What are you, fucking 17? What is this? You're a grown. These dudes are like 50 years old. What are you doing?
The name alone is disqualifying.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, it is disqualifying. In any case.
Low IQ slop is what they serve.
I haven't watched all of it. Soccer and I reacted to a couple clips today. They would drive you insane, the things that we saw. But we didn't get a chance to talk about this one, which I think is really significant, which is basically Netanyahu calling for even more censorship on anti-Israel views. Let's take a listen.
It's very hard to fight the deception, the lies, the starved children, the pictures of starved children who turn out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave them emaciated. And Israel is, of course, accused of starving children, pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood. So what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge. I don't want to dismiss it.
So first of all, he's doing genocide denial there with regard to the children that they've been starving literally to death, and accusing anyone who would point that out as doing a blood libel, of course. And then says we need to do something about the social media algorithms that allow people to say, hey, I don't really want my taxpayer dollars going to bombing babies anymore.
He's calling to just flat out censor the internet. He wants to remove everything Benjamin Netanyahu, don't like. Remove anything that criticizes Israel, and we'll scream at the top of our lungs, anti-Semite, Hamas apologist, anything. Doesn't matter how mild the criticism. These people he called the liberal Zionists protesting in Israel, hundreds of thousands of them. He said they're Hamas apologists. How do you deal with a man like this? You don't deal with a man like this. You lock this motherfucker up. He's a war criminal. They should bury his ass under the jail and leave him there forever.
Correct.
Okay? I'm sick of dealing with this guy's bullshit.
That's the only answer. I mean, if we're going to have any sort of humanity, like putting any semblance of putting this barbarism in the past, there has to be accountability. There's no doubt about it.
And anybody who has laundered that lie that he just put out there, oh, the children aren't starving, this one has cerebral palsy.
Oh, my God.
If anybody, because I don't know if it was Washington Post or New York Times, but somebody got involved in laundering that lie and ran a correction to a piece about starving kids and said, well, the Zionists say that this one had a pre-existing condition which led to it. Anybody who's laundering that lie is a fucking disgusting scumbag Holocaust denier, and not only are they a liar, they know they're lying. They know they're lying, and they're doing it anyway. Because even if I grant you the point, which I don't in any of the individual cases, I don't grant you that. But even if I did, what about the other hundreds and thousands of people fucking starving? What, like the number of pictures and videos on social media that show it are astronomical.
Yeah.
And they single out like one and go, this kid has a genetic deformity. And then you learn very quickly, oh, the genetic deformity came about because the mother was starved when she gave birth to the baby.
Right.
So even that stems from the starvation campaign. Israel has bragged about putting Gaza on a diet. They've done it for years. And now there's no question. Of course they're cutting off the food, the fuel, the water, the electricity. Everybody knows that.
I mean, they announced it. This is the thing that drives me crazy. They literally announced it, that they were blocking the aid coming. There were months that went by with next to no aid getting into the Gaza Strip. Don't you think that's going to have an impact, especially when they've also gone out of their way to raise all the farmland and destroy all the greenhouses? Any innate ability that Palestinians would have to grow and produce their own food has also been attacked and utterly destroyed. Barry Weiss's outlet, the Free Press, did a whole lengthy version of this Holocaust denial, where they picked these 12 different instances and were like, in each of these cases, what the news media didn't tell you. Posturing, by the way, like the news media is pro-Palestine, which is insane. Anyway, what the news media didn't tell you is that they all had other conditions. Some of the things were like rickets, which, do you know how you get rickets? From vitamin deficiency. One of them was, his other condition was that half of his skull was blown off by the IDF. That was the other condition that the news media was hiding for you when they told you that he's also, by the way, being starved to death now. Like, is it really any surprise, too, that in a famine, the first people who die are going to be the ones who are young, sick, elderly, injured, the weak? That is who is going to be most affected most rapidly, who will be at the greatest risk. Are those people also not worth saving? I mean, it's just utterly disgusting, not to mention the fact that it's not just food they've been blocking. It's also medical care. So yes, if you have one of those other conditions, not only are you being starved to death, you're likely not getting the medical care that you need. So it's just so incredibly disgusting. But, you know, I think as public opinion has dramatically shifted against Israel in the U.S., they're going to resort to ever more heavy-handed tactics. And you already see this. I mean, they installed their like IDF censor over at TikTok. You had Sherry Redstone talking about how she, you know, the 60 Minutes, the one time they covered Gaza in like an effective way that like, you know, blew her mind and caused her to basically like destroy that program and sell her stake and make sure that, and now they're bringing in Barry Weiss, potentially hiring Barry Weiss and buying her outlet, et cetera. You have obviously the heavy-handed tactics of the Trump administration kidnapping people for wrong think off the street. Like, the more that they lose their grip, the more heavy-handed and like undeniable the authoritarian tactics are going to be on censorship.
According to the IDF's own numbers, we just learned this today. According to the IDF's own numbers, 83% of the dead are innocent civilians in Gaza. 83. And that's probably including like all military age males.
Right.
So if I was there and I was
You'd just be
Palestinian,
assumed
they would
to
say,
be
you're
Hamas.
Hamas.
Yeah.
And so even the best case scenario, how you measure it, 83% of the innocent of the dead are innocent people.
Yeah.
I need everybody to understand something. It is impossible for that to be an oopsie. It is impossible for that to happen by accident. That doesn't happen by accident. That's on purpose. They killed all these innocent people, and they did it on purpose. Because in their mind, they think, guilty enough. They're Palestinian, they're Muslim, they're Arab, who cares? Their babies are terrorists because when they grow up, they might be a threat to us. So we do what we do and everybody shut the fuck up about it. And then if you complain about it, if you point it out, if you say this is an injustice, this is unacceptable, we're going to censor your ass. We're going to do our best to censor your ass. We're going to try to take you down off the internet. We're going to try to muzzle you. But you know what? It's gone so far that, I mean, what are they going to do? Censor 70% of the internet? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like 8% of Democratic voters still support Israel. 8%.
Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. I mean, we can see it. They know their time is limited, so they're just going for it all right now.
For the final solution.
I mean,
that's what they're doing.
Today is the Gaza City is being invaded as we speak. This E1 settlement, which will sever Jerusalem and different Palestinian communities in the West Bank, which is seen as like a dagger to the heart of any possibility of a Palestinian state, which, let's be honest, I mean, they've been destroying that possibility for years and years and years now. But this is an extraordinary development. The U.S. government is fine with it, which is a total shift in policy from previous administrations, at least pretense that they opposed additional settlements. They're, bombing their neighbors. They're going to go back to war with Iran. They are going for it all right now in terms of total ethnic cleansing, final solution, Greater Israel Project. And they're just hoping that they can pull that off before there's any sort of consequences or accountability for the horrors that they've committed.
The question is how long until they can be self-sufficient and not need to rely on U.S. money, because we give them so much fucking money.
Oh, yeah.
We've given them nearly $300 billion in their history.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they are the biggest fucking welfare queen on the planet.
They've got free health care.
They've got free health care. They got, pedophile safe haven over there.
Yeah, they've got the, a massive social safety net, like the dole for the more orthodox, like the more religious who don't work. And so they have a huge social safety net, health care for all. And, our tax dollars are going to that in part. And so if there is, and I think it's very possible that you have a major flip on Israel policy if a Democrat gets elected in 2028, which I think they probably will. And I think that through the primary process, you're likely to get someone who's very different oriented with regard to Israel. And the Democratic base absolutely demands it. Yeah, their days of mass, overwhelming, consistent support could be numbered, and it will have devastating consequences for them. But I think they're just so committed to the genocidal course that nothing would throw them off.
And AIPAC doesn't just need to be registered as a foreign agent; they need to be banned. Ban them. All right, now let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about this ProPublica article that came out, basically describing how RFK and Trump have completely destroyed our health infrastructure in this country in a way that is already like nearly impossible to come back from. I mean, this would take 2 terms of a Democratic president just to try to build back to where we were before.
Yeah.
Never mind, improve upon stuff.
True.
So according to this ProPublica piece, you ready for this? More than 3,000 scientists and public health specialists have either left or been fired.
Jesus.
Over 1,000 regulators and safety inspectors have also been fired or left. And in total, more than 20,500 workers, which is nearly 20% of the Department of Health and Human Services, have left or been pushed out, according to ProPublica's analysis.
Wow.
So what this means is exactly what people think it means. This is our health infrastructure that we're talking about here. I'm sure you saw the story about RFK canceling all the grants for all of the mRNA vaccine research. They were working on a cancer vaccine.
Oh, we don't need that, do we?
But he read some shitty blog from some snake oil salesman that said that mRNA makes you grow titties, and Bill Gates is putting a microchip in your anus, and so therefore we're gonna have to cut. And this, it's literally like government by bro science.
I mean, I'd rather have the microchip than cancer, personally.
It's government
if
by.
you're asking me to choose.
It's government by like Joe Rogan style bro science,
And here's the thing: is, I mean, you can't take these people seriously. He postures like he's, anti-corporate and he's going to take on big pharma, blah, blah, blah. Stripping the government of regulators food and safety and drug regulators.
So pro-corporate.
I mean, this is a corporation's wet dream.
Absolutely.
I can, get rid of all my safety standards and, sell my dated mystery meat to the public and not have anyone checking in to see what's going on here, and it'll all be fine and well and good. Like, yeah, that is their absolute dream. So then he'll do these things like, Shake Shack not Shake Shack. Steak and Shake.
Yeah.
Steak and Shake is using beef tallow to fry their French fries. Maha, hashtag Maha. It's like
your co-host Sagar has been on this,
he
like
has
White
been
on
all
Rice,
over it, yeah.
Because there's this like mythology that's been created in Maha. There are all these weird little like things that RFK believes are somehow like the end all be all of health. So like they took Skittles and removed all the artificial dyes, and now people are pretending like Skittles are healthy.
But there's
it's like no, it's still sugary fucking
sugar.
bullshit. You dumb fuck. Like oh, they got rid of the blue dye. Meanwhile, RFK is literally drinking blue dye. It's fish tank cleaner. It's the fucking methylene blue shit.
Yeah.
His brain is literally dyed blue and is never gonna go back. So apparently all the artificial food dye is bad unless it's fish tank shit.
That's the smallest problem with his brain, though. If we're being honest,
the brain worm, he's got a lot of stuff going on.
I mean, you see the influencer culture taking over the administration. He and Pete Hegseth did that whole pull up and push up contest thing, which also I am trigonometried by him wearing his fucking jeans.
Yeah, what is
to
up with
work
that?
out is so disturbing to me. I can't even look at it. But yeah, so they'll do these performative displays, or they'll do some corporate tie-up sponsorship package, basically with Skittles or with Steak and Shake. I keep wanting to call it Shake Shack, and pretend like that's any sort of policy. Meanwhile, the actual research that benefits people is getting gutted. The actual regulators who protect people getting gutted. Obviously he never cared, at least in the context of his presidential campaign, about, how about more people have access to health care? Maybe that would be a Maha priority. No, we can't do that. So it's all a show. And the thing is, and you and I have talked about this, I find it hard to both intellectualize and discuss the way that this administration is both this immense fascist danger that is doing genuinely horrifically damaging things across the board, and how they're also just a bunch of goofy, unserious, fucking idiotic weirdos. And, I think RFK Jr. is he fits in perfectly in this administration in that way.
We canceled all the cancer research, but do a couple sit-ups.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the mindset, right?
Yeah.
Do some pull-ups. I know that we got rid, you're not going to be able to get medicine that you need to survive, but, you do some pull-ups. It'll work. Go get some fucking beef tallow fries.
Yeah. Right.
It'll work out. It'll be
dye-free Skittles or whatever.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
My favorite, the raw milk. Even the state of Florida, did you see this? The state of Florida had to issue an emergency thing, don't drink the raw milk, because a bunch of people were fucking hospitalized because they were drinking the raw milk. And it literally said on the milk too. This is in the state of Florida, deep red state. On the milk it said, not for human consumption. This is for animals to have the milk. And people are drinking it because this fucking dipshit he promotes this nonsense. The difference between non-pasteurized milk, raw milk, and pasteurized milk is that pasteurized milk, they boil it to burn off the pathogens, burn off the germs and the diseases and the viruses.
Yeah.
And this fucking idiot is no, let me suck it right out of the udder.
I want the pathogens.
Oh, now my tummy hurts. Can't be the raw milk I just drank. No, definitely not that. They're so stupid. Like I said, it really is he reminds me of my dad, RFK. He reminds me of my dad, because my dad, he's one of the whatever
Your dad's coming up a lot in this intro today.
Really? Did I talk about him before?
Yeah, with Trump.
Oh, that's right.
And yeah.
Anyway, he was kind of ancillary to that story. But anything that whatever gut instinct he had, that's it. I don't need to read anything. I don't need to learn anything like that. I had a gut instinct. The instinct is correct. That's RFK's whole approach to science.
Yeah.
I don't think the vaccines work. Who cares? Who are you?
Right.
You wouldn't know a placebo-controlled double-blind study if it hit you on the fucking head like an anvil. Maybe your brainworm can try to push the anvil off, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. And these guys, they are destroying our health infrastructure. And think about all the damage these people have done when you take the Doge cuts and this bullshit, pediatric cancer research cuts, NOAA and the NWS cut. They try to bring some of them back out of desperation, by the way. I don't know if you saw that. But it's still not even what it was before. They fired 600 people. They're let's bring back 400. Even in their attempts to make things better, they still can't make it correct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got Meals on Wheels being cut, cutting the CFPB, nuclear safety officials being cut. We don't even have routine food safety inspections anymore. In this article, they say that whoever's left doing any food safety inspections, they're like, we have to go to the store and buy the stuff to do the tests ourselves. They don't provide us with it.
What?
That's what they say in this ProPublica article.
That's insane. That's completely insane.
I know, like, they're destroying everything, and meanwhile, they're grandstanding as they do it as if they're some sort of fucking heroes.
I know.
Like, people should be coming at you with fucking pitchforks, bro.
And, you know, RFK doesn't get enough attention because there's so much other insane shit just going on all the time. But this is the sort of stuff that it will have massive short and long-term consequences.
Facts.
And to your point, even if you have a Democratic administration that spends 8 years trying to rebuild, like, some of the people and the expertise and the research that was being done and the grants that were pulled, like, some of that just won't come back. Like, you will never know what possibilities
Brain drain.
were taken off the table. Brain drain, absolutely, huge. Where you will never get back what is lost during this period. And it's also this very, I mean, it's just a total, like, libertarian approach to health, where they have this view. I mean, they had this view during COVID of like, oh, if you're healthy and you work out, then you won't get COVID, or you'll be fine if you have COVID. You don't need the vaccine, et cetera. And they just sort of take that view of a lot of chronic conditions and diseases of just like, oh, well, if you do your pull-ups, that really is their thought. If you like do your pull-ups and your sit-ups, then you'll be fine, and we don't need all of this modern medicine.
So childish.
It's just so, I don't know.
They also
How
get
are we going
obsessed with
backwards
things.
So fast?
They also get obsessed with things from time to time. It'll become like the next big thing on the right. So this methylene blue thing is one of them.
Yeah.
But then another one is like, they've all convinced themselves that nicotine is actually the healthiest thing in the world for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, let me tell you, from somebody who smoked cigarettes for years and vaped for years. Really? Is that what we're going to say?
I saw Tucker talking about that.
Oh my God. First of all, that motherfucker's face is beet red 24/7. Why? Because he's always sucking on Zins, bro. His bloodstream is like 78% nicotine at this point. Homie's going to keel over and die any fucking minute. I know that nicotine doesn't cause cancer. That part is true. But let's stop pretending, it's no downsides to it, and it relaxes you while making you focused at the same time. It's like, if you're popping 18 Zins a day, dog, you're gonzo. You're gone. Like, you're going to be in trouble. And if you try to quit, it'll be like a fucking heroin addict trying to quit. Like, you're going to go through flu symptoms. It's going to feel like shit. But they get obsessed with these little things, and they convince themselves of the most utter bullshit you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 7th grade rumor among idiot boys, you know, like frat assholes.
It's one thing when that is the podcast influencer world. That's bad enough.
Right.
Because people are very impressionable. Now those fuckers are running the government.
Exactly.
And, like, making policy. Yeah. Based on their weird influencer views that they just, like, thought up on their own.
Yeah, and it's dishonest, too. Like, deep down, they know that shit is not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, deep down, you know it. When you're smoking cigarettes, everybody knows this is not good for you. The vape thing, here's how you cope. You say, oh, this is better than the cigarettes. That's how you cope with it. You're like, oh, I took a step in the right direction. It's like, okay. Is it objectively good, though, overall? And, like, they avoid that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they convince themselves of these things, and they go with it at 1,000 miles an hour. And it's embarrassing. Like, that's fucking embarrassing, you know?
Country is an embarrassment at this point.
Yeah, we're cooked. Anyway, let's bring in our not cooked guest, who we absolutely love.
He's going to help us get anti-cooked.
That's right. We are anti-cooking. Guys, we had an awesome conversation with Richard Ojeda, who's running in North Carolina's 9th District. He is taking on a MAGA opponent. And man, am I excited for him to get to Congress. So watch the entire interview, support him if you can, watch his Ojeda Lives, and we'll see you guys over there. Sign up below.